Hello everyone, my name is Abdurrahman Alamoudi. I am a member of Team Badges. We are building the skilled Android badging system, and this is our design review. First, let me introduce our team members. Our sponsors in this team are Dave Hobbins-Berger and Glenn Austin. They are from State Farm Insurance. Our mentor on this project is Sama Shifa Catherine. And our leader on this project is Logan Reader, is the communicator and document who is responsible for communicating with us, with the mentor and sponsor. Tristan Marks are the developing architecture and quality insurance, who is the responsible of the design insurance choice. And we have Robert Targenia and Tiampo Shaw. They are both the release management and they are responsible for uploading the code to GitHub. And I'm the coder of this project with everyone in the team. Now, let me pass the mic to our leader, Logan Ritter.
Thank you, Abdul. Hello, everyone. My name is Logan Ritter, and I will be discussing the problem that State Farm has tasked us with solving. So since the beginning of March, State Farm, like many other companies, was forced to switch their entire workforce over to the virtual nature due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Specifically, we're building this for the Enterprise Technology Department, which is located in Tempe, Arizona. What is enterprise technology? Enterprise technology is responsible for working with and developing everything tech that State Farm uses, as well as keeping State Farm up to date in all the new and improving technologies. Specifically, there are 6,000 employees who work in enterprise technology across hundreds of different teams, all doing different things in the tech world for State Farm. Almost every single employee who works in enterprise technology is working from their own home virtually, all spread out across the state. So what are some of these problems that they're facing? Mainly the lack of social interaction, which is also causing a lack of motivation and incentive for their employees. And this is because it's hard to recognize or acknowledge the work that their employees are doing on this virtual nature. From my own experience, I'm a former intern at State Farm. In the office, State Farm is very good at motivating and rewarding their employees for doing all their great work, such as managers would sometimes buy their employees coffees or donuts for a job well done. And even sometimes they would reward them with ribbons, which they would pin up on their desk. Now you can't do that when everyone's working from their own house. And another issue with that is there's no current online reward system that State Farm uses. So there's no way other than verbal acknowledgements for an employee to be recognized. On the employee side of things, it is impossible for an employee to know or understand what another team on all the way on the opposite side of enterprise technology is learning, achieving, or accomplishing without direct contact with them. Again, from my own example, when I worked virtually this summer with State Farm, I had no idea what other teams were even doing on the other side of enterprise technology because I couldn't just walk down the hallway and figure it out. And without knowing them, it's hard to directly contact them. So what is the solution? So State Farm has tasked us with building a gamified web-based social media web application called the Skills and Knowledge Badging System. Now, what is this application? This application, it will allow employees and managers to give badges or a social currency called kudos to other employees, which can be redeemed for rewards. Badges are handed out for larger milestones, such as 5 years with the company, whereas kudos are handed out for the day-to-day things, such as you presented well or you did well in your daily stand-up. The product that they envision and that we envision will be similar to a video game achievement system. This will keep it fun and engaging for the employee and make them want to hit these milestones. So moving on, some of the key requirements that State Farm is requiring us to implement in this product, the main one being that it has to be a single page application. They don't want some multiple page, hard to use application because it'll deter the employees from actually using it, which defeats the purpose of it. So as you can see on the right here, we have a quick sketch of our single page application. What we envision is that in the middle will be a waterfall style feed similar to most social medias out there where you can scroll through and see everything that your coworkers and fellow teams are earning through kudos and badges. On the right side is another waterfall style scrollable feed where you can see your badges and all the badges you're close to achieving. On the bottom right, you can see your kudos. And on the left panel, you have a list of functions that you can do, such as spend kudos or give kudos. Moving on, another key requirement is that this must be able to send, receive, and store badges and kudos. Without that, it would just be another boring forum social media that only involves reading, and we don't want that. And then the last one is these badges must be widely displayed throughout State Farm, such as on internal social media such as Yammer or LinkedIn, as well as being on the email and on Skype, which they use in the day-to-day operations. So now I'll pass the mic over to our first release manager, Robo, to talk about some of the functional requirements.
Thank you, Logan. So our web application will have 6 core features or 6 functional requirements. And one of them is interesting and responsive GUI. Our web application will be mobile, tablet, and desktop friendly. And also our web application will implement waterfall feed style, which is similar to Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And also employees or users of this web application will have ease of access to see their badges, collection of badges, and also they can see or track their progresses in achieving a new badge. And also employees can create different type of groups. And the second feature or functional requirement is account system and with access restrictions. So our web application will implement authorization and authentication. On the authentication side, only State Farm employees or State Farm staff will have an access to this web application. They can log in and do some stuffs. And also on the other hand, authorization, we will have 3 core levels of user privilege. And the first level is admin or developer privilege. And this is basically the admin will have an access to the code base, and also they can add a badge based on a request of a manager. And also the second one is manager portal or manager user privilege. And the manager privilege can request a form to the admin for a new badge. And also manager can give out a new badges to employees based on their skills or based on their accomplishment. And also our web application will implement account recovery methodology. So if their email is connected to our web application, if they forget their password, they can enter their email and we can send them confirmation, or forget email to put a new password. And the third functional requirement is social currency or kudos. So every employer will have a bank of kudos that will be resetted whether on weekly or per month, and they will be given the same amount of kudos, and every employee or users of this web application can give out kudos to another employee. So for example, if an employee attended a meeting or attended a conference or contributed something, someone can give him a kudos, for example, plus 400 for doing this, plus 500 for doing that. And also users of this web application can redeem their rewards. At the end of the day, they can be given some type of rewards, whether on State Farm, it could be some type of break or some type of a ribbon. They can change or transfer it to that. And on the next slide, the fourth functional requirement is badge deployment system. Users or employees can send, receive badges, and also they can send, as long with the badges, they can send messages as long with it. And also administrators can remove badges. And also users, every user of this web application will have access to see how or from who, when, and why a specific badge was given to them. And the fifth feature is badge printing. So when users or employees see their badges, and if they want to print it, there will be a button or some type of form implemented with it to print this badge easily. And the last one is email signature integration. Every user will have an access to choose from at most 3 badges to be displayed on their email. So when they send it to their employees or to their coworkers or to their manager, it will be displayed. Their accomplishment will be displayed on their email addresses. And thank you so much. And I will pass it to Tristan.
Thank you, Robel. So alongside functional requirements, our team has determined 2 other categories: performance requirements, which will be mainly based on time metrics, and environmental requirements, which will be the project constraints. Starting with performance requirements, our goal is to maximize user efficiency in several areas of our application. In turn, this means keeping the time it takes to complete desired tasks low. For the GUI, we plan to make sure it is designed in an intuitive and quick to navigate manner. It should only take a few minutes to fully understand the layout composition for a first-time user. Now, for experienced users, it will take only a few seconds to navigate from section to section within the application. Our team will accomplish this by making sure every main task is accessible within 1 to 2 clicks from the homepage, minimizing excessive navigation and load times. As for our account system, creating an account and logging in will take a first-time user less than a minute, and logging in for an experienced user will take less than 10 seconds. We will accomplish this by making use of design patterns in the login section. This will give the user familiarity in the UI, keeping registration and login times to a bare minimum. For the badging system, sending and receiving badges will be low effort and quick, as the user will only need to choose the badge, input the receiving user, and then execute the task. Because of the built-in notification system and waterfall feed, the badging system will feel instantaneous in action. The same can be said for sending and receiving kudos, as the process is almost identical, making both systems intuitive and simple in nature. Moving on to environmental requirements, our project only has 2. The first being that the project must be designed as a single-page application to minimize overall design complexity and load times. And the second is having designed the project for State Farm to easily pick up and take over. This will be accomplished by using a familiar version control and keeping the code itself clean and easy to read. Now I'll hand it off to Yambo.
Thank you, Tristan. Risk and feasibility. There are some potential risks in our project. First is database security. We choose Firebase as our database, and Firebase does not provide any secure access control mechanisms or security rules that identity potential attacks. So we are facing the risk of losing data. To figure it out, we plan to build our own user authentication mechanisms to protect our database from unauthorized access. All users accessing our database must be authorized. And the second risk is browser incompatibility. The syntax we use in one browser may not be supported as well in another. For this reason, we will use more compatible syntax when we are writing code. As our web will be designed for high-end browsers and as a priority, it may not work well in some low-end browsers. We plan to make a notification bar to let our users know which browsers our web does not support. And the last part is maintenance. We will develop our code writing specifications to make our code clear and easy to maintain. We will also use modular design to develop our program to make it easier for error locating and addition of new features. Keep moving on to next slide. Okay. As we can see on the timeline, in October, we finished our technological feasibility draft, which detailed which technologies we are going to use and why. Then in November, we finished our requirements documentation, where we detailed what needs to be implemented in our product. And before the end of November, our team will develop a prototype where we can showcase where everything will go and how it will work. At the beginning of January, we will begin developing our MVP, making sure we successfully implement all the requirements from our clients. After we have completed our MVP, we will continuously add features and improve existing ones through quality assurance and bug squashing. Now let's pass the microphone over to Tristan.
To summarize everything, the client we are building this application for is State Farm Insurance. Their reason for building this application is to solve the problem of having a lack of acknowledgement and reward system for their employees in a remote working environment. Our goal is to introduce a gamified social media application that provides a skills and knowledge badging system. The application's overall purpose is to provide the solution of boosting morale in a remote working environment and recreate a sense of community. Any risks we might come upon in development will be security, storage, or copyright related and addressed within the development process. To close us off, we are Team Badgers, and this has been our design review presentation.